We're on page 110, and which is topic 20, and we're going to look at the examples, the three examples, 1, 2, 3 here for quadratic equations and how to solve them. And just one thing at the top of page 110, let's read this together. The square root property can be used when k equals 0, but only one double solution results. That is, if x squared equals 0, we said, let's say x squared equals k, but k equals 0, and we take the square root of 0, you'd say plus or minus 0. Well, there's no difference between plus or minus 0. There is only 0. So there's really only one solution, 0. So if x squared equals 0, then x equals 0. So let's go and solve the three examples that are given on page 110. Here we have an equation 2x plus 1 squared equals 5. The first thing we're going to do is take the square root of the left side, which gives us this. So if you have this, if this is under the square root sign, then you just get this, because 2x plus 1 squared gives you that. So you take the square root of both sides. Square root of 5 is plus or minus 5. So now you transpose the plus 1 to the right side. It becomes minus 1 plus the root of 5, plus or minus the root of 5. And we divide this by 2, we get x. And we divide this by 2, we get that. So really what we're saying is we have two solutions, minus 1 plus root 5 over 2, and minus 1 minus root 5 over 2 because of this here. So one solution is the plus root, one solution is the negative between the two. Now, square root of 5 is approximately, as an approximation, 2.2. So if we say minus 1 plus 2.2, that roughly gives us 1.2. 1.2 divided by 2 gives us 0.62. Similarly, minus 1 and minus 2.2 gives us minus 3.2. Minus 3.2 divided by 2 should give us minus 6.1. I think this should be a 1 here. Anyway, so those are the two solutions. This is what we call an exact solution right here, because we're not calculating, and this is an approximate value. Now, the problem always with this is we're never sure whether, when we do a problem, whether we have the right answer. So how do we check this? So I'm going to take each one of these numbers and plug it back into the original, each one of these solutions, and plug it back into the original equation. So the first one I'm going to do is minus 1 plus root 5 over 2. I'm going to substitute it in here. So instead of the x, I'm going to put minus 1 plus root 5 over 2. And plus 1 represents this one. This squared represents this. This 2 represents this. And of course, this is the x. Now notice the 2's cancel here. This 2 will cancel with this 2, so we'll be left with minus 1 plus root 5 plus 1. So the minus 1 and the plus 1 cancel, and I've just got root 5 squared, which gives me 5. And if we look at the right side of this equation, we see that it equals 5. So the left side equals the right side. Now, the other solution that we got was that x equals minus 1 minus root 5 over 2. Again, I substitute the x, replace the x here with minus 1 minus root 5 over 2. So here it is here. The 2's cancel. I have minus 1 here and plus 1 here. Those cancel, sum to 0. Then I have minus root 5, which I square because of this, and that gives me 5. So again, the right side is 5, and so the left side is equal to the right side. So it's very important that when you do these kinds of problems, you can leave it right here. But to show that you've actually got the right answer and to serve as a diagnostic, you know, if, for example, the left side didn't equal the right side, I have to go back here and see whether I made some kind of mistake. So it's always good to check your problems. Example 2 on page 10, we have 2x squared plus x plus 1 equals 0. And here we've got the quadratic equation, b squared minus 4ac minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And the key thing is to look at the discriminant here. If you look at the discriminant, it's 1 minus 8, which comes out to be minus 7. We can't take the square root of a negative number and get a real number solution. So this is undefined. This is undefined, and so the solution is undefined, so there are no real solutions. So there are no values of x that make 2x squared plus x plus 1 equal to 0. And we've discussed this before. What we're really saying is that this graph never crosses the x-axis. There are no x-intercepts for it, which is another way of saying there are no real solutions. So we always look at the b squared minus 4ac. If the b squared minus 4ac, which is the discriminant, is less than 0, which means it's negative, means that the graph has no points that are on the x-axis. Hence, there are no values of x that make this equal to 0. Let's go to example 3. X squared equals 4x minus 1. We rewrite this in what is called the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So in this case, we apply the quadratic formula right here, this one right here, minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. We can't factor this. There are no factors for this. So when you see that you can't factor the problem, then you think about applying the quadratic formula. And even if you've made a mistake and it is factorable, the quadratic formula, if you do it correctly, will give you the answer. So here, minus b is minus 4, plus or minus b squared, minus 4a, a is 1, and c is 1. So this becomes 4, and this is 16 minus 4, which is 12 over 2. Now this we can just write as 4 times 3 under the root sign, and the square root of 4 is 2. So we're left with root 3. Can factor out 2 from the top. 2 times 2 gives you 4. 2 times plus or minus root 3 gives you 2 times plus or minus root 3. Plus or minus 2 root 3, sorry. The 2's cancel here and here. One of the answers is 2 plus root 3, and one answer is 2 minus root 3. Now the root of 3 is about 1.73, only approximate value, because it keeps on going. So if you add 1.73 to 2, you get 3.73. If you subtract 2 minus 1.73, you get about 0.23. Actually, it should be about 0.27 here. I think this number should be 0.27. Okay, so summarize the equation x squared minus 4x plus 1 cannot be factored, so we have to use the quadratic equation to solve for x. There are 2 solutions, 2 plus root 3 and 2 minus root 3. Again, to verify the answer, the left side of the equation, we go back to the original equation. X squared equals 4x minus 1. Go back to the original equation. Just in case you've made a mistake here. So go back always to the original equation you're given. So now the left side is x squared, the right side is 4x minus 1. If we substitute 2 plus root 3, we get 2 plus root 3 squared. The first times the first gives you the 4. The last times the last gives you 3. Root of 3 times the root of 3 is the root of 9, which is 3. The inner term is 2 root 3. The outer term is 2 root 3. If we sum those, we get 4 root 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. And we've got the 4 root 3. The right side is 4x minus 1. 4 times 2 plus root 3. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 1 is 7, and we've got the 4 root 3. The left side, the right side equals the left side. The left side is here, the right side is here, and the left side equals the right side. The other solution, same thing. We tried 2 minus root 3. We get x squared. 2 minus root 3 times itself squared. First times first is 4. Last times minus root 3 times minus root 3 is plus root 3. The only difference here from the last one is that this is minus 4 root 3 while this is plus 4 root 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7 minus 4 root 3. We go to the right side. 4x minus 1. We replace the x with 2 minus root 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. And we've got the minus 4 root 3. So the left side equals the right side. So that completes our discussion of page 120 and the exam.